Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to do is break down how to open multiple charts with TradingView. I'm using the desktop version here. I have a 1 minute chart up now, just one chart, but I'm going to show you how you can set up multiple charts in the same window, so that way you can either watch multiple stocks at one time, or you can assess multiple time frames at the same time on the same stock. So really cool. But if you go up to the top here, the layout setup is what we're going to be choosing today. Click on that and you can see that you have a number of options. Now I have the pro version for TradingView, so I have more options than maybe some. I think with the free options, maybe you get 2 charts with it. I'm not sure if you get the 3 or 4, but I do have the pro version. So if you don't have the ability to change to these multiple charts, then what it is just the subscription that you have to TradingView is not permitting that. So we have an option here: 1 layout, 2 layouts, or excuse me, 2 charts on the layout, 3, 4, and I think you guys get the idea. We'll choose 2 just to start. You can choose whether it be vertical or horizontal. So you can see that this is a more of a vertical look, up and down, right, side by side. So that's not bad. I don't mind that. What we can do here is we can actually change the ticker as well. So if I want to say look at Tesla on one of these charts and MLGO on the other, you can see that it changed. But if I want both of these to change at the same time, then I would go back to the layout setup, and you can go to the symbol, and you can see that you can sync the symbol between both of the charts. So all of these options allow you to sync these between both of those charts. So if I click this on the symbol, it will now change this to Tesla. If I go back to MLGO, it will go back to MLGO on both of the charts. So if you don't want that option turned on, you can turn this back off. The interval as well. So if you want the time frame to be the same, you can do that. I like to have mine separate, so maybe I can have this on a 5-minute chart and maybe the other on something else. So if I hit Tesla, you can see that now we changed on the one chart to a 5-minute chart. So I can sit here and reference Tesla on the 5-minute chart because I prefer trading on that time frame on the right hand side, and I can reference the left hand side for the 1-minute chart for MLGO. Or I can go up to the top. As long as you click on the window you want to change the settings for, click on either window. So this one for the 1 minute, if I want to change it to a 10-second chart, and maybe this chart on the right, I can change it to a 1-minute chart, and maybe I want to sync both of these back to the same symbol. So MLGO is what we're going to watch here, MLGO. So a lot of times I'm using the 10-second chart in conjunction with the 1-minute chart. Again, if you don't have the option to use a 10-second chart, that's because of the membership that you have with TradingView. So you just don't have that permitted. You can see a 1-minute chart on the left, or excuse me, on the right, and 10-second chart on the left. And now I can reference both of these at the same time. So as I'm looking for an entry maybe on the 10-second chart, maybe I'm referencing the 1-minute chart for a wider time frame. Or maybe I can choose a 5-minute chart for an even wider time frame to really assess the trend on a 5-minute chart while entering in my trades and exiting on a 10-second chart. So it can use the wider time frames for basically just sentiment analysis there. So now if we go to the top, we can change this to even more. We can have 4 charts on the same window here. Now this is set to be the same, so we can add, say, a 10-second chart, maybe a 1-minute chart here, and if you just click on the window you can change it. We'll leave the 5-minute, and let's change this to maybe a 10-minute. Or we could even change this to, say, a daily. A lot of traders like the daily chart. So now I can reference the daily chart. I can look back and see when maybe they had a stock split, or maybe they have news or earnings. I can see that on the daily chart. I can see maybe that it doesn't hold up typically after it's pops. So maybe this will be like a pop and drop, something I want to get in quick, in and out. So I can reference these wider time frames or larger time frames just by clicking on that window, choosing the time frame that I want up here in the top left, and then that window will be that time frame. And so as I'm entering, I may be entering and trading on a 10-second chart or a 1-minute chart, which is very quick and quick signals. That allows me to mitigate risk, get in and out quickly. Well, I'm also referencing the wider time frames to really get a feel for what the sentiment is. So maybe the whole sentiment on the wider time frames is more of a bearish sentiment. So maybe I'm leaning more towards a short opportunity on the smaller time frame. So if I see the setup for a short position, maybe I'll take them. This is a 4 square layout here. You can change this. You can move it around just by grabbing this. You can adjust each one of these charts to make it however you want. You can add indicators to each one of these charts individually. So I can have maybe one indicator on the 10-second, maybe a few indicators on the 1 minute, maybe 1 or 2 on the 5 minute. So you can change the indicators that you have. You can also reference multiple charts. So we can go in here, we can go a little crazy, and we can choose, let's see, this option here. Now we have 6 charts up. And if I have 6 charts up, typically I don't want the symbol to be the same because I'm not referencing 6 different time frames. So I'll change that option again in the synced layout here. And now we don't have that linked up. So now I can have, say, MLGO in one chart, and I can have all of these maybe on a 5-minute time frame, right? So 5 minute, 5 minute, let's just have a 5-minute layout basically. And you can change this to whatever you prefer. So as I'm changing, it's just clicking on the chart that I want to change and then clicking the time frame to change that chart time frame. I'm going to set these all to 5 minute. We're going to go with SPY. We'll go with Tesla. We can go with NVIDIA. We can go with AMD. And we can go with maybe the Qs. So we can now look at this and reference these other whole market type of moves. On the 5-minute chart, we can adjust this to maybe a daily chart, 10-minute chart, whatever you prefer. And that the whole idea and the scope of this video is to show you that you can have multiple charts up at one time. You can reference each one of those charts. Maybe one of these is giving you the setup that you're looking for while the others are not. So while you're waiting for one setup, maybe you have a setup somewhere else. So it allows you to really be viewing the whole screen, but not having to look everywhere for these charts. They're all right there in front of us. Now, if I want to blow up a chart and maybe look at the possible price action, maybe MLGO is giving me a setup that I may want to take. I really want to focus on that chart right now. I can hit Alt and Enter to expand that chart. So Alt, Enter to minimize it, Alt, Enter to maximize it, and that's going to allow me to basically go in and out of these charts quickly, so I can say, okay, maybe I want to trade SPY on the 5-minute, Tesla on the 5-minute. I can adjust it. I can play around with the chart. So as you can see, guys, when you get more familiar with this, it's going to allow you to get really to move quickly throughout the market, really view a number of stocks at one time. So a lot of traders are wondering, you know, how did you get into this, or how did you see that, or man, this guy's, you know, watching everything. Well, you know, it makes it easy when you can do this. You can also adjust the size. So maybe the top charts, you want to see a smaller version of those. Maybe you're referencing something a little bit less important to yourself. Maybe this is more important down below, or vice versa. You can do it like this as well. You can come in here and you can adjust even more charts. So maybe that's not enough for you. You can have more charts, but again, it depends on the options that you have available to you. So of course, if you have this this option available to you, you can do this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 charts total here. And again, it allows us to really reference those other time frames if I choose to, or again, I can add multiple tickers to really start to break it down. For myself, guys, most of the time I'm sticking to a 2-chart layout. I do prefer the horizontal look over the vertical look personally. So I like to see them top and bottom, but you know, that being said, either way is fine. So if you prefer it like this, you can do that as well. You can zoom in, zoom out on whichever chart you prefer just by scrolling on the mouse wheel. And it's really simple, right, guys? So this is a quick and easy tutorial on how to adjust your chart settings in TradingView and how you can have multiple charts set up. You can adjust the times. The settings are down here, sync in layout. You can adjust the symbol if you want to have the symbol change together. You can do that just by clicking that on, and all of the charts will be in sync. So guys, quick, easy tutorial. I hope you learned something today. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.
Want to gain full access to our custom TradingView indicators? Visit bullishboblive.com today and join our growing community. See you soon.